You know, tonight, while you're asleep, your body is going to start a repair program, one you never authorized, and one you'll never even notice. It's a process that's written into our very code. But in our modern world, well, that ancient law is being broken.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Every single night, these little enzymes inside your cells are literally finding broken strands of your DNA, cutting out the damage, and then rebuilding your genetic code from scratch. It's like having this elite molecular maintenance crew that only works the graveyard shift, and you're completely oblivious.
So, what happens when that crew never gets the signal to clock in? What happens when they just don't show up for work? The consequences are way more profound than most of us can even imagine. And the culprit? Well, it's definitely not what you'd expect. Yeah, this isn't about some new toxin in your food or a dangerous chemical in the air. The thing that's accelerating the aging of your cells, it's an absence, a missing instruction. And the very first clue to what that instruction is was found almost 300 years ago, of all places, in a plant that was locked away in a cupboard. So our investigation, it doesn't begin in some high-tech modern lab. Nope, it begins in 18th century Paris with a curious astronomer and, believe it or not, his houseplant. So it's 1729, and this astronomer, de Mairon, he wants to see if a mimosa plant actually needs the sun to do its daily thing. So he seals it up in a pitch-black cupboard. And yet, like clockwork, its leaves opened in the morning and folded up at night, right on schedule. It was the first real proof that the rhythm wasn't coming from the outside, it was coming from within.
And here's the incredible irony, right? De Mairon, the guy who literally founded an entire field of science, had no idea he'd done it. He just noted this strange thing happening, figured the sun's influence must somehow be getting through the walls, and then he went right back to studying the stars. The clock he was searching for was in the cupboard the whole time. Okay, so now let's jump from that first dusty clue into the forensic lab of the human body to find the actual machinery that runs our own internal clock.
So here's something crucial you gotta understand. Your eyes, they basically have two jobs. One is for seeing, we all know that one, but the other is for telling time. Deep in your retina, you have these specialized cells with a protein called melanopsin. They don't care about images or shapes, they only detect one thing. Is there blue light, like the kind from the daytime sky, present or not? That signal from the melanopsin, it travels directly to this tiny little spot in your brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short. This is the pacemaker. It's the master conductor of the whole orchestra, making sure every single clock in your body, from the one in your liver to the ones in your skin cells, is playing in perfect rhythm. So, when melanopsin detects darkness, it sends the all clear to the SCN. The SCN then gives the green light to the pineal gland, and that's when melatonin gets released. And you have to understand, melatonin isn't just some sleep hormone. It's the chemical foreman that shows up and tells that nightly DNA repair crew, "All right, boys, time to get to work." This is the fundamental law, you know? The absence of light isn't just empty time passing. It is a direct molecular instruction. Darkness is the signal that kicks off your body's deepest, most important maintenance cycle. And the scale of damage that needs fixing every single night, it's staggering. 10,000. That's the number that biochemist Bruce Ames calculated for the number of times each one of your cells gets damaged. Every single day. Just try to picture it. It's like these tiny metabolic sparks are constantly hitting your DNA, causing these microscopic burns. This is the constant, relentless damage that the melatonin-driven repair system is designed to fix. And when that nightly repair doesn't happen, that damage, it just starts to pile up. So what happens when this ancient, elegant system smacks right into the modern world? Well, let's look at the body of evidence from people whose entire lives are lived out of sync with the sun.
Okay, so back in 1972, a really foundational study showed that fruit flies living on a normal 24-hour light-dark cycle live the longest. But the flies that were forced onto these weird, mismatched 21 or 27-hour cycles, or just kept in constant light, they died sooner. It's a universal biological principle called circadian resonance. Life thrives when its internal rhythm matches the planet's rotation. Simple as that.
Now, okay, that's fruit flies. What about people? Well, here it is, the molecular smoking gun. A 2017 study looked at night shift nurses. They measured this specific marker in their urine that only shows up when DNA is being actively repaired. After a normal night's sleep, those levels were high. But after sleeping during the day following a night shift, the levels absolutely plummeted.
The implication here was, well, it's chilling, and it's crystal clear. The nurses were accumulating the exact same amount of cellular damage as anyone else, but their bodies simply weren't fixing it. The repair signal was being blocked. So all that unrepaired damage was just sitting there, inside their cells.
Okay, we've seen the crime scene, we've seen the damage, we've seen the repair crew that's been mysteriously taken offline. All the evidence is pointing to one single fundamental conflict, and it's right at the heart of our modern lives.
So, it's time for the verdict. And it's not about a single substance or some bad habit. No, it's about a fundamental clash between our modern environment and our ancient biology. And here's the great paradox of modern life. We are simultaneously starving for darkness and starving for light. Think about it. We have way too much artificial blue light at night, which shuts down our melatonin and just cripples our repair systems. And then, by spending all our days indoors, we miss out on all the red and infrared light from the sun that our mitochondria desperately need to produce the very energy that powers that repair in the first place.
The case file really is clear. Demiron's little plant showed us the clock is internal. Pendrag's flies proved that syncing up with that clock is absolutely key to a long life. And that study on the nurses? That gave us the cold, hard molecular proof that breaking that sync stops DNA repair dead in its tracks. So the verdict is in. The crime here isn't malice. It's just a mismatch. We are living against a rhythm that evolution spent 4 billion years meticulously writing into the very core of our biology, a rhythm tuned to the simple, reliable turning of the Earth.
And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? But now we get it on a much deeper level. This isn't just about getting a good night's sleep. This is about allowing a fundamental, ancient, and frankly a non-negotiable biological process to actually take place.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. Tonight, if you can, find a place away from the screens, away from the streetlights. Just stand in true darkness for a minute and try to feel that absence of artificial light not as an emptiness, but as what it really is, a powerful signal, a physical instruction your body has been waiting 4 billion years to receive.